The final day of the NBA Cup is tonight. Your team may or may not be in it, but let's see how it's supposed to play out. Casuals only, let's get it. So when I first created Casuals Only, the idea was not only just to be able to talk basketball outside of my gamified YouTube channel I have, but more so to actually learn with you guys. I'm not trying to talk at you and project knowledge, that kind of thing. I also have things to learn about the NBA. And in this scenario, I want to know the scenarios for tonight's NBA Cup. My goal isn't to act like I know everything in the NBA or act like I know everything in the history of the NBA or what's going on in the current day with the players. I also don't have time to watch every single game, but I watch a good amount of the NBA. So the whole goal with Casuals Only is to, being a casual fan isn't a bad thing. Enjoy the game, and I'm going to be here to help you guys understand what's going on in the league. That's the goal with Casuals Only. Nothing wrong with being a casual, because I myself am a casual at times. So with that being said, let's learn together. The NBA Cup 2024, here's what's at stake in the final day of group play plus every clinch scenario. I'm a Pistons fan, as most of my followers know, and tonight means a lot for the Detroit Pistons. So let's find out exactly what needs to happen for us to clinch a knockout spot in the NBA Cup. And I want to see what's going on around the league. There are other very important games. The Knicks and the Magic have a really important game tonight. So let's figure out what has to actually happen in order for these teams to play, and what will happen if, the Bucks win instead of the Pistons, that kind of thing. The 2024 Emirates NBA Cup resumes Tuesday with 5 of the 8 spots in the knockout round, 3 in the East, 2 in the West, still up for grabs on the 7th and final day or night of group stage play. Here's a look at what's in stake in Tuesday's 11-game NBA Cup slate, as well as the lay of the land in each of the 6 groups as we race for the NBA Cup begins to heat up. The stakes, group winners and wild cards. This will be the final night of group play with the top 8 teams in the East and the West. The winners of Group A, B, and C, plus 2 wild cards. The team in each conference with the best record in group play games that finish second in its group. Makes sense. It's like the NFL almost. Advancing to the single elimination knockout rounds. Because of the smaller number of games, tiebreakers will likely come into play even for wildcard teams, with the advancing team being decided by 1. Head-to-head record in group play, so the record the Pistons have against the Bucks in group play specifically. Non-overtime point differential in group play, so how much you beat a team or lose to a team by, not including overtime. Total non-overtime points in group play, so just the amount of points you score without overtime. And your regular season record that's last year, 2023-24 regular season record. So if we get tied with all of that, the Pistons, who had the worst record in the league last year and a worst record in franchise history, have the worst possible chance of getting out based on that tiebreaker rule. That's funny. And finally, if all of that fails to break the tie, a random drawing, which hopefully all of that doesn't fail, because if you're the Pistons in a tiebreaker scenario like this, which I don't think we will be, that coming down to last year's regular season record is actually terrible for us. The 4 quarterfinal games will be played Tuesday, December 10th and Wednesday, December 11th, so next week, which is exciting. The 4 winners will advance to Las Vegas, where the semifinals will be held Saturday, December 14th. The championship game for the NBA Cup will take place Tuesday, December 17th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC. It'll be the only game in the entire tournament that won't also count toward the participating team's regular season records for their player statistics, which makes sense because if you play all 82 games, that would be your 83rd game, which it looks like it doesn't count for anything. Kind of crazy that you have to play the extra game or whatever, and it doesn't count towards anything. But as the NBA Cup continues on and we get 10, 20, 30 seasons down the road, you can finally start to see who plays well in those NBA Cup final games, which would be kind of cool. Those kind of stats accumulating over time is exciting to look back on. The teams that don't make it to Las Vegas won't just be chilling at home, though. During the knockout rounds, on the days where no NBA Cup games are scheduled, Thursday the 12th, or Friday the 13th, Saturday the 15th, and Monday the 16th, whoever plays on Friday the 13th, that's terrible. The 22 teams who didn't qualify for the knockouts will each play 2 regular season games. The 4 teams that lose in the quarterfinals will each play 1 regular season game against one another as well. So it looks like this part of the season, the schedule isn't fully made up or mapped out. It's kind of based on what happens tonight really figures out almost who's playing when, and then as the NBA Cup goes on, we'll figure out more about who is playing while the NBA Cup is going. So the schedule seems to not be made out as this point. But anyways, gone till next November. After a massive Black Friday slate, we're now up to 14 teams eliminated. In the West, We've bid farewell to the Pelicans, Jazz, Wolves, Kings, and Lakers. LeBron and the Lakers obviously won the NBA Cup last year, and now they're knocked out before the knockout round even gets there. They finished group play 2-2, sitting behind three teams in West Group B with a minus 24 point differential, well behind any of the teams still alive in the Western Conference. In the East, it's bon voyage to the Wizards, Raptors, 76ers, Nets, Hornets, Heat, Bulls, Pacers, and somewhat surprisingly, the Cavaliers, who have lost just 3 games total this season, but who packed 2 of those L's into group play. Wow. 2 of those L's coming in group play. So obviously, I guess I don't know their group. It's not dependent on division. They've lost to the Hawks twice, right? 7-11 Hawks are the only team to beat the Cavaliers and Celtics. And I think the Cavs they beat twice, if I'm being honest, or something like that. And then the Wizards' only 2 wins are against the Hawks. And the Cavaliers' only 2 losses are against the Hawks. The Hawks are just a weird team, man. Anyways, only 3 teams have punched their ticket to the knockout round. The Rockets, who won West Group A, the Warriors, who topped West Group C, and your fighting Atlanta Hawks, who upset Beast of the East, the Celtics, and Cavs to win the Group C. That's absolutely insane. They're the only team to beat the Celtics and the Cavs this year, and I'm assuming they're in the same group, right? That's what that says. So winning all of those in the group play is actually insane. Shout out to Atlanta. That leaves 3 groups: West Group B, East Group A, and East Group B. East Group B is Detroit, as well as each conference's wild card berth still in play, and 13 teams still in the hunt to snare a knockout slot on the final day of group play. So who's still in the hunt? East Group A, teams still alive. This one, thankfully, is pretty clean. The Magic and the Knicks both sit at 3-0. This is going to be a banger of a game tonight. I'm assuming it's a 7 o'clock, 7:30 game tonight, but it doesn't say on here. It looks like, it's the front end of TNT's Tuesday doubleheader. The winner wins Group A. The Magic have been playing really well. It's tough not to go with the Magic in this one, but I'm going to go with the Knicks. As much as I want to lean Magic here, I'm going to go with the Knicks. If Orlando loses, it will almost certainly be the East's wild card, thanks to rolling up a league high plus 60 point differential through its first 3 games. So long as the Magic don't lose by more than 37 points, they're moving on, which probably will not happen, but you never know. And that's all without Paolo, I believe. I think they've played every single cup game without Paolo this season. Either way, Franz has been killing it. The Magic look great. New York, however, enters the group stage finale at plus 15, a worse point differential than the Bucks plus 29, the Pistons plus 28, and the Celtics plus 23, and one that would only decrease with a loss. That means Tom Thibodeau's club has to win to advance. So a lot riding on the line for the Knicks. I'm picking the Knicks to win. Also, the Pistons at plus 28 differential could be absolutely torn down tonight because they play the Bucks, and the Bucks could absolutely kill us because here they go. East Group B. It's a similar story here. The Bucks and the Pistons enter Tuesday at 3-0 and will face off Tuesday in Detroit, with the winner taking Group B. The Bucks absolutely have the Pistons number since Giannis has broken out as, one of the best players in the league. So I'm not expecting a great outcome for the Pistons here tonight, but I am very confident, 3-0 in group play. It's at home. I'm hoping that our guys have, that edge to go out there and win this game. The loser can still advance, but would need to finish with a better point differential than both the Celtics and the loser of the aforementioned Magic and Knicks game to take the wild card spot. For the Bucks, at a minimum, that means they can't lose by more than 6 points. The Pistons can't lose by more than 5, which is tough because the Bucks beat us by 20 damn near every time we play. The loser can still advance, but we need to finish with a better point differential than both the Celtics and the loser of the Magic Knicks. But if the Magic lose that game, they have such a high point differential that they're probably not going to be beaten out by point differential by the Bucks or the Pistons because they're a plus 60 point differential. Lots of stuff to keep in mind here. East Group C, though, one team in, one team alive. The Hawks, as we laid out earlier, have already clinched a spot in the knockout round. That leaves the Celtics, who finished 3-1 in group play, sweating out Tuesday's results in Detroit and New York. If the Knicks lose and the loser of the Bucks Pistons loses by enough to finish with a point differential below plus 23, then Boston moves in. If the Knicks win, well, the Celtics will need them to win by more than 37 points to bump Orlando out of that position. And for the loser of the Bucks and Pistons to lose by enough to finish with a point differential below plus 23. This is a lot of math and a lot of what if, a lot of potentials, a lot of this team needs to do that and that team needs to do this for this team to get in and this team to do this. A whole lot of everything going on. It's actually so exciting that it's December 3rd and we finally get to, or not even finally, we just get to be excited about competitive NBA basketball in the middle of December. I love it. West Group A, one team in, two teams alive. The Rockets, riding high after taking down the West leading Thunder in a heavyweight fight on Sunday, are already on the knockout round. The Trailblazers 2-5 with a minus 5 point differential, and the Clippers 1-2 with a minus 6 point differential, both still hanging on in the wild card race despite negative point differentials, will square off at the Intuit Dome tonight. The Blazers can snipe the West wild card if they win and the Thunder and Mavericks both lose, or they win and beat the Clippers by enough to win the point differential tiebreaker over Dallas, currently plus 41, and whoever finishes second in the West Group B, currently Oklahoma City, plus 19. The Blazers have a minus 5 point differential, and Dallas currently has a plus 41 point differential. So they need to beat the Clippers by enough to win the point differential tiebreaker over Dallas, which at this point would be a plus 46 differential between the Blazers and Dallas, which means they need to beat the Clippers by 47 points. The Blazers aren't making it. They lose, but do it in overtime. And the Clippers will probably get in. The Blazers will definitely not be in. I'm taking the Knicks to get in. I'm taking the Pistons to get in because I'm a homer and I'm allowed to do that. West Group B. Is this how much long? Okay. Then we just get into standings. The liveliest group left, the Spurs, Thunder, and Suns all sit at 2-1, all within 5 points of one another in total point differential, with San Antonio and Phoenix facing off in the group stage finale. Here's how the game of rock, paper, scissors breaks down. The Thunder win Group B if they beat the Jazz, and the Suns beat the Spurs because OKC beat Phoenix head-to-head. The Suns win Group B if they beat the Spurs and the Jazz beat the Thunder. The Spurs win Group B if they beat the Suns. Oh, wow. So just the Spurs, if the Spurs win, they get in. Need the Suns to beat OKC. No, to beat the Spurs. Oh my gosh. The Thunder need the Suns to beat the Spurs, and they need to beat the Jazz. The Suns need to beat the Spurs, and the Jazz need to beat the Thunder, and the Spurs just pretty much need to win. I kind of like a Spurs dub here. Give me the Spurs. If they don't finish atop the group, all three still have pathways to the wild card too. Take a deep breath. I feel like I'm already lost. This is funny. To win the wild card, OKC needs... Here it goes. A win plus losses by the Trailblazers and Mavericks, or a win by enough points to secure the tiebreaker over Portland, which has a -5. Dallas has a plus 41. Losses by the Suns, Trailblazers, and Mavericks that leave OKC with the tiebreaker advantage over whoever finishes second in West Groups A and C. Or losses by the Trailblazers and Mavericks, plus finishing ahead of the Spurs and Lakers in their own group and winning the tiebreaker over whoever finishes second in West Groups A and C, which could require OKC losing by fewer than 24 points if the Nuggets win, or just losing in overtime if the Nuggets lose. To win the wild card, Phoenix needs a win plus losses by the Blazers and Mavericks, or a win by enough points to secure the tiebreaker over Portland and Dallas. So let's say the Blazers really, I feel like, are non-factors in this because their point differential is so bad compared to the Mavericks plus 41. So pretty much whatever happens to the Blazers is going to happen, but the Suns can get in if Dallas gets absolutely crushed tonight. To win the wild card, San Antonio needs losses by the Blazers, Thunder, Mavericks, and Nuggets, plus finishing ahead of the Thunder and Lakers in their own group and winning the tiebreaker over whoever finishes second in the West Groups A and C, which will require losing by fewer than 20 points in regulation or just losing in overtime. That's just to get into the wild card. Let's just hope they get in normally. West Group C, one team in, three teams alive. The Warriors were the first team to sew up a spot in the knockout stage, and the Pelicans were the first team eliminated. The other three members of Group C, though, the Mavericks plus 41, Nuggets plus 2 point differential, and Grizzlies minus 6 point differential, they're still slugging it out in hopes of pulling the wild card. I'm not going to read all of this. Pause if you want to. See, not that complicated. Really pretty simple. Actually, now that we've laid it all out, here are the standings. This matters a lot. And honestly, I may go back in and just have you guys pause if you want to read all of that instead of me reading through all of that. Group A, we already know, most likely going to be Orlando, especially if they win. Their point differential is huge. They have a very good chance to at least make a wild card spot. But if New York, the winner of this one, will get in no matter what, I got New York. Group B, the Pistons and the Bucks are very close. And the loser of this one has a chance to get the second wild card spot, and they'd be fighting with Boston, I believe, because Boston has a plus 23 differential, and the other teams have plus 29 and plus 28 differential. And the New York Knicks, if they were to lose, wouldn't have a high enough point differential to compete with the other teams, if that makes sense. So it looks like there's a lot going on with point differential here for the wild card spot. West Group A, though, Houston's already got it. Golden State's already got it, which is crazy because the Warriors are not playing very good right now. Dallas has a great point differential, which is a very good chance to get in. Denver most likely will not get in. They need some pretty crazy stuff to happen. OKC and Phoenix both have solid point differentials, but still not quite what Dallas has. In Portland, has just a terrible point differential. They probably will not make it in. So it comes down to San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Phoenix, and Dallas to get a wild card spot or 2 wild card spots. That's a lot of information to take in, but I hope you guys learned some stuff. I hope this opened your eyes to the NBA Cup and all that it can be and all the exciting opportunities and outcomes that we have to watch as NBA fans, especially watching competitive basketball in early December. It's so awesome, dude. I'm actually so happy about this. I can't wait. A lot of really amazing NBA games on tonight. Here's your slate if you didn't see it. Make sure you guys are tuning into most of the games, some of the games, at least the TNT games. They have a lot at stake for them, especially like that Trailblazers Clipper one does. The Sun Spurs has a lot of stake. Warriors Nuggets, Grizzlies Mavericks, Magic Knicks, Jazz Thunder, Bucks Pistons. Those are all the big ones that have a lot at stake for the NBA Cup seeding tonight and who advances to the knockout round. If you guys learned something, I appreciate it, or I'm happy that you did at least. I appreciate everybody viewing in. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Casuals only. We learned a ton today. Let's get it. Have a good one, everybody.